So in this segment of Guess That Vibe, I'm going to show you what acceleration and vibration frequency was my dog running through the office, which was a pretty cool video that we were able to capture. Before I dive into the data, I just want to show you how I configured the device that was recording that acceleration and vibration on my dog's left shoulder blade. So I put all the data in a folder called Barney test because my dog's name is Barney. It's a great name. I made sure that the button mode was for 1 second press. I didn't want it to be inadvertently pressed. I had no triggers, but I did have a 2-second delay, so once I pressed the button, it waited 2 seconds before it started recording. Everything else, there was no triggers, it just recorded continually. And then I had both accelerometers maxed out, so the 200G shock accelerometer sampling at 3200 hertz, and that 4 kilohertz, the 40G main accelerometer sampling at 4 kilohertz, and had the temperature, pressure, humidity, light sensor, and orientation sensor. The orientation sensor was actually on, and so that was how it was configured. Well, now let's take a quick look at the data. So this is the entire walk, which I'll get into in a second. But well, I guess I could show you that I put it on, and my dog got pretty excited here, and probably did one of his crazy shakes that he does once his leash is on. Then we walked a little bit. Then I started talking to somebody, so he was laying down here. Then we were doing our normal course of action of our walk. We came back inside, and here's where he ran around, and you saw the cool video. So what you can see here is when he's sprinting super fast, the accelerometer is actually clipping at 40 Gs. So thankfully we have that 200G accelerometer, which saw that even that one of his I guess gates or impacts with the ground saw as much as a 75, 80G peak on his shoulder blade, but generally it was around 30 or 40 Gs. So that's the overall, or when he was sprinting. When we look at just when he was doing his normal walk, here you see the acceleration levels are more in 3 or so Gs. So what else can we see quickly in the lab software? The light sensor is kind of cool. You can see when we were outside, or when we were inside first when I started the recording, and then we went outside, and obviously the intensity is much greater, and then we come back inside. Right around this time is when he did his sprinting after we were inside for a few moments. The other sensor is kind of cool to look at is the orientation sensor. Now, the orientation sensor is hard to make sense of because it's got these 4 axes that are not very intuitive to look at in this way, but you can see that I think the z-axis here was generally positive for most of the walk, and then the second half of the walk it was negative. I believe that's because I was walking down the road one way and then I came back the other way. The other things, we had the temperature sensor on. It was obviously a little cooler outside than inside. The pressure sensor went down a little bit from outside to inside, and humidity was a little more humid outside. But with that, I will pull up some of the data in the analyzer software to see kind of the frequency content, which I've already opened up for us. So this is the few seconds during that period of time that that Barney was sprinting. You see here that you see the 30 Gs or so peak, and even that 75 Gs when he was, I don't know what he did, he made a turn or something. Now I did an FFT of that, and the peak frequency is around 7 hertz. Now when he's just walking, you see the peak frequency more of around 5 hertz. So I thought this was a little interesting. I would have thought there'd be a greater discrepancy in the frequency content, but I think this means that when he's sprinting versus walking, he's generally moving his legs at a similar rate. He's just extending them out more. But with that, that's a quick overview. There's a ton more to get from this data, and so I've uploaded it for you all to have a look. and please share anything you find of interest, as well as share any ideas you have or data you have that you think others would find interesting. We hope to have, and we will have, more of these Guess These Vibes segments. It's fun, so look for those, and please share us your thoughts and feedback. Thank you. Bye now.